Welcome, children. Good day. I'm Rumais, your science teacher for class 7. I hope you have learned the concept whichever we have discussed in the previous session. Now, we'll see the last session of this chapter, nutrition and plants. I hope by the end of this session, you will learn what are the nutrients which the plant needed and the types of nutrition the plant undergoes. Children, in today's science fact, let's see about the food items which is needed for your body. God has created a pharmacy full of medicines. In Tamil, there is a saying called Unave Marundu. Means food is medicine for you. So in this picture also you can see the few food items which is needed for your body parts and to enhance the working also, like carrot is for eyes, tomato for heart, walnuts helps in the transmitting the brain nerves, and grapes and potato and citrus fruits. So eat right food to keep yourself healthy and safe. Now let us enter into the topic nutrition in plants. Last three sessions we have seen about the types of nutrition and like autotrophs and all those things. Today we will see the last part of this lesson. Children, now let us have a quick view on the topics which is covered in the last three videos. In the first session we have seen about the definition of nutrients and nutrition and its types of nutrition. In that we have seen autotrophic nutrition, which deals with photosynthesis, how the photosynthesis is being happening in the plants, and what are the raw materials needed for this, where it is happening, and what are the process like gaseous exchanges, how it is happening, that and all we have seen. And we have also seen the necessary conditions of the photosynthesis. At last we have discussed about the reactions involved in the photosynthesis, and followed by we have seen about the heterotrophic nutrition, in which we have seen about parasitic plants and the saprophytic plants. The last video we have seen about insectivorous plants and its types. So, type of nutrition in plants is majorly divided into two types: autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition. Autotrophic nutrition is the plants how they prepare their own food on their self. That is self preparing of food. Okay, they use a simple inorganic substances like light energy, carbon dioxide, water, and all those things for the process called photosynthesis. And heterotrophic nutrition is obtaining food from others sources like from autotrophs. So they depend on other organism for the food, that is called heterotrophic nutrition. Now let's see what are the types of heterotrophic nutrition. We have already seen the first two types. Now let us focus on the next two types of the heterotrophic nutrition. Now let's see the other two types of heterotrophic nutrition. In that let us see about symbiotic nutrition. Symbiotic plants are certain plants live in association with other organisms. They share food and other resources. Both the types mutually gain from each other. Such plants are called symbiotic plants, and the relationship is called symbiosis. Symbiosis, a relationship in which two organisms mutually benefit from each other. Okay, now let's see the example of the symbiosis relationship. Now let's see the example of symbiosis relationship. A lichen is an organism that results from the mutualistic relationship between a fungus and the blue-green algae. The fungus grow around the blue-green algae. Okay. The fungal component absorbs water and minerals and provide them to algae, which uses them along with its chlorophyll and makes food. The prepared food is absorbed by fungi. So there is a mutual helping is happening between a fungi and the algae. After an idea about the types of nutrition in the plants, now let's move into the topic called soil fertility. To learn more about soil fertility, we have to be very well known with the two terms nutrient depletion and the replenishment of nutrient in the soil. First, now let's see about depletion. When farmers plant the same crops in a field year after year, here, so the plants take away the same kind of nutrient from the soil. As a result, the soil leaves nutrient lack. So the plants use more nutrients than the decomposer can replace. So the soil becomes less fertile. Hence, the soil nutrients are getting depleted. Now let's say the main cause of soil depletion. That is, the soil depletion means the nutrients, depletion of nutrients in the soil. It is mainly by the cultivation practice which is followed by the farmers. So continuous cultivation of soils over long period of a time without giving any gaps in between the crop cultivation. If they are going to cultivate same type of a crop for continuous term, then definitely there will be the depletion of the nutrient in the soil. So the microbes whichever present in the soil cannot replace a nutrient. As we all know, the microbes are the main reason for the nutrients which is present in the soil, so they cannot reproduce the nutrients in the soil, so there will be a lack of fertility, so which leads the lack of yield. Now let's see how the nutrients are replenished in the soil, that is how the nutrients are refilled. Nutrients are replenished by certain different microorganisms that are found in the soil, also by the death of a certain plant such as rhizobium bacteria. The decaying plants tend to slowly break down into the basic soil nutrients over a period of time. Okay, so the plants use the mineral nutrients, especially nitrogen, present in the soil for their growth. As a result, there is a depletion of a nitrogen in the soil over a long period of a time. So usually the farmers add manures and fertilizers to replenish the nutrients in the soil. Besides, here you can see the picture of a rhizobium symbiont relationship between a plant and a bacteria. A plant provides nutrients for the bacterial growth, and these bacteria which is present in the leguminous pea plant, they convert the atmospheric nitrogen into soluble forms, which is useful for a plant's further growth. So now this nitrogen is converted into ammonia, and then it converts into the forms of nitrates and nitrites, which will be helpful for the plants further growth. So this is how these rhizobium bacteria are helpful for the replenishment of the nutrient in the soil. So here we have seen how the leguminous plants are helpful for the replenishment of nutrient in the soil. So farmers grow leguminous plants alternatively with other crops to restore the nitrogen content of the soil, in which the artificial fertilizers and the other things have been not involved in the crop production. When a plant grown in such a way, they can be called as organic farming. In organic farming, artificial fertilizers are banned, and the farmers use animal manure, compost, and human sewage as the manure for their crop growth. These are also can be called as green manure. So we know that the nutrients are much important for the plants for the growth. So main nutrients which is needed for the plant for the growth is nitrogen. Okay, nitrogen helps the plant for the growth in a large extent. Apart from nitrogen, there are many other minerals are also very important like calcium, carbon dioxide, phosphate, potassium, magnesium, iron, and much more. So in this picture, you can see in deficiency of these nutrients, how the plants will be affected. So when there is lack of calcium, the new leaves misshapen and a stunted growth in the new leaves will seen. If the plant is deficient in iron, what will happen? The young leaves are yellow and white with green veins. The color, there is a color discoloration in the leaf. When there is a lack of potassium in a plant, you can see the yellowing at the tip and edges, usually in the younger leaves. So the outline will become yellow. If there is going to be a manganese deficient in the plant, you can see a yellow spots and or elongated holes between the veins. Then if it is going to be a deficient in magnesium, the lower leaves turns yellow from outside, going in veins and remains green. There will be a again there will be a discoloration in the leaf. If the plant is going to lack in phosphate, the leaves are darker than normal and loss of leaves. So you can see the wilt of leaves often. If the plant is going to lack in carbon dioxide, the white deposit on leaf stunted growth and the plant die back. And if the plant is going to be if insufficient nitrogen, you will see upper leaves are light green, where lower leaves are yellow, bottom or older leaves are yellow. And so in this lesson we have learned about the nutrition in plants, and in that we have seen autotrophic nutrition and heterotrophic nutrition, and at last we have seen the replenishment of the nutrient in the soil, in which we have seen how the nutrients are getting depleted from the soil and how are going to be replenished by the action of a leguminous plant, and which we have learned the nutrients are much necessary for the plants for their growth. Okay, here in this home assignment you have a concept map. In this concept map you are going to include photosynthetic process and autotrophic nutrition. And in photosynthesis you will write about the conditions and the site and raw materials needed for the photosynthesis. And for the insectivorous plants and parasitic, symbiotic, and saprophytic plants, you will write about the um, examples and the structures. So you will finish off this concept map as your home assignment. Thank you, children.